Hello students, today we'll start with our chapter 5 part 2. All of a sudden he sprang up and flung his entire weight on this lot of furniture. Suddenly what happened, the tiger jumped and he put his total weight on the furniture. I thought it would be reduced to matchwood. Matchwood means very small pieces. The writer thought that the furniture would be reduced to very small pieces. But fortunately, your railways have a lot of foresight and choose the heaviest timber. But he is saying, the writer is saying that fortunately the railways have very good foresight and that's why they choose a very good timber, means heaviest timber to make the furnitures. That saved me, and here he is saying that's why he was saved. The tiger could do nothing more than perch himself on the roof of the table and hang down his paws. Perch means edge of something. So here the tiger was, he perched himself, he was putting himself on the edge of the table and he hang down his paws. He tried to strike me down, but I parried with a chair and stool. So here the tiger was striking him, but parried means attacked with a counter move, and the tiger was attacking with a counter move with a, but the writer was saved with a chair and stool. The table rocked under him. The table which was there, which was rocking, shaking. I felt smothered. I could feel his breath on him. Smothered means killing. The writer felt that the tiger would kill him and he could feel the tiger's breath on him. He sat completely covering the top and went on shooting his paws in my direction. So now what happened? The tiger completely covered the top and then he was throwing his paws in the writer's direction. He would have scooped portions out of me for his use, but fortunately I sat right in the corner. So what he is saying, the tiger would have pick up some portion of the writer and he could have used it, but fortunately the writer was sitting in a corner, a hair's breadth out of his reach on my side. Hair's breadth means a very small amount of margin. So here what he is saying, the tiger and the writer, there was very little small amount of margin between them. He made vicious sound and wriggled over my head. Vicious means cruel or hurt somebody. So here the tiger was very cruel to him and he made very cruel sound, and this made, wriggled means twist and turn with quick movements, and this wriggled over the writer's head. He could have knocked the chair to one side and dragged me out if he had come down. So what the writer is saying, he could have, the tiger could have knocked the chair, means he throwed the chair at one side and dragged him out of that place, but somehow the sight of the chair seemed to worry him for a time. But what happened, there was a chair and that made the tiger frightened. So he was worried about that chair, and for that time he was very worried, and so the tiger could not reach the writer. He preferred to be out of its reach. So that's why he was just waiting there and he was not reaching the writer. This battle went on for a while. I cannot say how long. So here what the writer is saying, the battle between the writer and the tiger went for some time, but he cannot say how long. Time had come to a dead stop in my world. And so what here the writer is thinking, that it would be a stop, he would go to end, and that's why it was a dead stop for him in the world. He jumped down and walked about the table looking for a gap. So now here the tiger, what he did, he jumped there and walked about. He was just walking around the table looking for a gap. He can see if any gap is there and he could catch the writer. I rattled the chair a couple of times. So what the writer did, he rattled. Rattled means make a rapid knocking sound. So what he did, he made a knocking sound so many times so that the tiger would be afraid. But very soon it lost all its terror for him. So at so many times when he heard that noise, the tiger was not afraid of that noise. He patted the chair and found it inoffensive. Inoffensive means harmless. So here what happened, the tiger, what he did, he went near the chair, he patted over it and he thought that the chair is harmless. At this discovery, he tried to hold it aside. Now what happened, the tiger thought that the chair is not going to hurt him, and so what he did, he tried to go near the writer. So he went near the writer, but I was too quick for him. But suddenly the writer was very quick in that decision, and he moved from that place. I swiftly drew it towards me and wedged it tight into the arc of the table. Now wedge means a force somebody to fit in a small place. Now what I did, there was a small table, and what he did, he went and he got fitted in that arc. Okay, arc means a curved structure. A small structure was there under the table, and so the writer went and sat inside that table. And the stool protected me on the other side. Now one side the table was there, and the other side the stool protected from the tiger. I was more or less in a stockade made of the legs of furniture. So what he is saying, he was in the middle of the legs of both the furniture, the table and the chair. He was in the middle of that both. I sat up on his haunches in front of me, wondering how best to get me. So now the tiger, what he did, he was sitting there nicely, haunches on his legs. There he was sitting nicely, and he could see, he was sitting in front of the writer, and he can wonder how he can get the writer best. Now the chair, table and stool had formed a solid block with me at their heart, and they could withstand all his tricks. So there was furnitures, chair, table and stool, which were very solid furnitures and which blocked the tiger. And the tiger was trying so many tricks, but withstand means to be strong enough not to break. So furniture was very strong, and it was not able to break. He scrutinized my arrangements with great interest. Now what happened, the tiger, he was examining very carefully where the writer was sitting. Espied a gap. Espied means catch sight of. He was seeing whether there was any gap he could reach the tiger, and thrust his paw in. And then what he was doing, he was pushing his paws inside. It dangled in my eyes with the curved nails, and the writer can see that the paws were dancing in his eyes, and he could feel that his curved nails were coming towards him. I felt very angry at the sight of it, and this made the writer very angry. Why should I allow the offensive to be developed all in his own way? So now offensive means insulting. So the writer was feeling very insulting कि why the tiger was coming to him and why he was so sitting there. I felt very indignant. Indignant means shocked or angry. The writer felt very angry. The long knife from the station master table was lying nearby. There was a long knife which was lying near the station master's table. I picked it up and drove it in. So what the writer did, he picked up the knife and made a deep cut in his paws. Now the tiger was in great pain. He withdrew his paw, maddened by pain. He jumped up and nearly brought down the room, and then tried to crack to bits the entire stockade. The tiger jumped with pain and tried to crack the barrier of the wooden furniture. He did not succeed. He once again thrust his paw in. The tiger did not get success, so once again he throwed his paws on the writer. I employed the knife to good purpose and cut off a digit with the claw on it. The writer is saying that he used the knife for good purpose and cut off a number of claws. It was a fight to the finish between him and me. He returned again and again to the charge. Now the fight was that to finish the tiger or himself. The tiger came again and again. So what the writer did, he cutted 3 claws before he could done with him. And I cut out, let me confess, 3 claws before I had done with him. So now what the writer did, he cutted the 3 claws of the tiger. I had become as bloodthirsty as he. Lastly, the writer is saying that both were bloodthirsty, means both were very violent. Those claws mounted on gold are hanging around the necks of my daughters. You can come and see them if you like some time. Finally, those claws has been mounted on gold and are hanging around the neck of the writer's daughter. Here our chapter is finished.